Philip Hampson Knight, born February 24, 1938, is an American billionaire businessman. He is the co-founder and chairman emeritus of Nike, Incorporated, and was previously chairman and CEO of the company. As of July 23, 2020, Knight was ranked by Forbes as the 24th richest person in the world, with an estimated net worth of $54.5 billion. He is also the owner of the stop-motion film production company Leica. Knight is a graduate of the University of Oregon and Stanford Graduate School of Business. He ran track under coach Bill Bowerman at the University of Oregon, with whom he would co-found Nike. Knight has donated hundreds of millions of dollars to each of his alma maters, as well as Oregon Health and Science University. He has donated over $2 billion to the three institutions. Knight met his wife Penelope "Penny" Parks while he was working at Portland State University, and the pair were married on September 13, 1968. They own a home in La Quinta, California. Knight donated $3.5 million to Republican Knute Buehler during the 2018 Oregon gubernatorial election. Knight's son, Matthew, died in a scuba diving accident in El Salvador in 2004. Another son of Knight's, Travis Knight, runs the Leica animation studio. Phil Knight serves as chairman. Before Blue Ribbon Sports, later Nike, flourished, Knight was a CPA, first with Coopers & Lybrand, and then Price Waterhouse. Knight then became an accounting professor at Portland State University. Immediately after graduating from the University of Oregon, Knight enlisted in the Army and served 1 year on active duty and 7 years in the Army Reserve. He next enrolled at Stanford Graduate School of Business, where, for his small business class, Knight produced a paper, "Can Japanese Sports Shoes Do to German Sports Shoes What Japanese Cameras Did to German Cameras?" that essentially premised his eventual foray into selling running shoes. His ambition was to import high-quality and low-cost running shoes from Japan into the American market. He graduated with a master's degree in business administration from Stanford in 1962. Knight set out on a trip around the world after graduation, during which he made a stop in Kobe, Japan, in November 1962. It was there that he discovered Tiger brand running shoes, manufactured in Kobe by the Onitsuka Co., now known as ASICS. Impressed by the quality and low cost of the shoes, Knight called Mr. Onitsuka, who agreed to meet with him. By the end of the meeting, Knight had secured Tiger distribution rights for the western United States. The first Tiger samples would take more than a year to be shipped to Knight. During that time, he found a job as an accountant in Portland. When Knight finally received the shoe samples, he mailed 2 pairs to Bowerman at the University of Oregon, hoping to gain both a sale and an influential endorsement. To Knight's surprise, Bowerman not only ordered the Tiger shoes, but also offered to become a partner with Knight and provide product design ideas. The two men agreed to a partnership by handshake on January 25, 1964, the birth date of Blue Ribbon Sports, the company that would later become Nike. Knight's first sales were made out of a now storied green Plymouth Valiant automobile at track meets across the Pacific Northwest. By 1969, these early sales allowed Knight to leave his accountant job and work full-time for Blue Ribbon Sports. Jeff Johnson, Nike's first employee, suggested calling the firm Nike, named after the Greek winged goddess of victory, and Blue Ribbon Sports was subsequently renamed Nike in 1978. Nike's swoosh logo, now considered one of the most valuable logos in the world, was commissioned for $35 from graphic design student Carolyn Davidson in 1971. According to Nike's website, Knight said at the time, "I don't love it, but it will grow on me." In September 1983, Davidson was given an undisclosed amount of Nike stock for her contribution to the company's brand. On the Oprah television program in April 2011, Knight claimed he gave Davidson a few hundred shares when the company went public. At Nike, Knight developed personal relationships with some of the world's most recognizable athletes, including Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. Following mainstream success in the late 1990s, Wilvinton Studios' animation company sought external investors due to rapid growth. Knight assumed a 15% stake in the company in 1998, and his son Travis, who had graduated from Portland State following an unsuccessful attempt at a rap music career, went to work at the studio as an animator. Citing mismanagement, Knight eventually purchased Wilvinton Studios and assumed control of the company's board with the cooperation of Nike executives. In late 2003, Knight appointed his son to the board, and after Vinton had stepped down, prior to leaving the company with a severance package, Knight rebranded the company Leica. He then invested $180 million into Leica, and the studio released its first feature film, Coraline, in stop motion, in 2009. Coraline was a financial success, and Travis Knight was then promoted into the roles of Leica CEO and president. In May 2004, 2 years after Knight bought Vinton, his son Matthew, aged 34 years, traveled to El Salvador to film a fundraising video for Christian Children of the World, a Portland nonprofit organization. However, while scuba diving with his colleagues Vincenzo Iannizelli and Robert McDonnell in Lake Ilopango, near San Salvador, he died from a heart attack 150 feet underwater due to an undetected congenital heart defect. Knight and Travis traveled to El Salvador to return Matthew's body to the U.S. Leica Studios' 2005 short film Moon Girl was dedicated to Matthew's memory. Knight resigned as Nike CEO on November 18, 2004, several months after Matthew's funeral, but retained the position of chairman of the board. Knight's replacement was William Perez, former CEO of SC Johnson & Son Incorporated, who was eventually replaced by Mark Parker in 2006. In 2011, the Matthew Knight Arena at the University of Oregon was named in his honor. During the 2009 to 2010 period, Knight was the largest single contributor to the campaign to defeat Oregon ballot measures 66 and 67, which, once passed, increased income tax on some corporations and high-income individuals. In June 2015, Knight and Nike announced that he would step down as the company's chairman, with President and CEO Mark Parker to succeed him. Knight's retirement from the Nike board took effect at the end of June 2016. In September 2017, Knight decided to come out of retirement to put black back in the UNC jerseys for the Phil Knight Classic in Portland, Oregon. Knight's memoir, Shoe Dog, was released on April 26, 2016 by Simon & Schuster, was rated 5th on the New York Times bestseller list for business books in July 2018, and details the building of the Nike brand, from importing Japanese shoes to being part of a federal investigation.